WWE's Road to SummerSlam is more of a drag race track than it is a highway. So, how did they handle that on Monday Night Raw this week? Let's talk about it as we get ready for SummerSlam. It is SummerSlam week, just 2 weeks after it was Saturday Night's Main Event week, and Great American Bash week, and Evolution week. So WWE's put a lot on the table right now, and they are hoping that the quantity, or that the quality, can kind of offset the absurd amount of quantity that we have had to deal with over the last little while. That being said, they put on a pretty good show on Monday. Let's talk about it. The big moment I thought of this show was CM Punk and Gunther giving us the go-home promo that we needed. Last week, it was awkward. It was a good start to the promo, and then it just stopped. And that's annoying. And it left a lot to be desired, I thought. Like, this one was an excellent build-up promo. It was a really good go-home promo. It really just made me wish that we had more of this. These two are way too good to only have a 2-week build to the biggest show of the summer. So, on one of your biggest shows of the year. I understand they overdid it with the length of that build to WrestleMania. There's a middle point, and 2 weeks ain't it. So this just showed me what we were missing by not having this be an extended build with Gunther and CM Punk. So excellent work by these two guys, but it just made you wish that we had had more of it to enjoy. And so hopefully we get, now a lot of people are presuming we're not, but hopefully we get a little bit more coming out of this one following up on SummerSlam. The other big story, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, that team get the upper hand on Roman Reigns and Jey Uso on this episode. I thought to start the show, it was the Hulk Hogan tribute. I understand it. Like, if you're going to do it, you have to do it that way, right? Like, it does kind of feel from a WWE perspective, it was all or nothing. You can't really ignore it, but you either just like, hey, Hulk Hogan passed, rip, or you do what they did. And if you are going to treat this like a big deal, then you have to treat it like a big deal. And they did that. Did it give me an opportunity to fast forward through some stuff? It did. Yes, it absolutely did. But then, when we got to the actual wrestling part, I thought it was a great promo with Paul Heyman and Jey Uso to get things going, talking about family, and Paul Heyman really kind of setting up exactly how he should be talking about this. Like, you're really going to trust that guy again? You're like, just because it's family? What are we doing? Like, there's some like the part about how your parents will lie to you about Santa Claus and stuff like that. Like, that's a bit of that felt weak from Paul Heyman. But you do see where they're coming from. Like, okay, family lies, what's it matter? You just got to look out for yourself. I don't think anyone is buying that we are going to get the 15th Roman and Jey turn on each other thing, but it was the exact promo that you would think that character would cut. And then when Jey Uso does his thing, oh boy, was that crowd ready for it. This crowd was excellent on Monday, and they were into main event Jey Uso here. So a good start to the night for this one. And then in the main event, it is Jey Uso against Bronson Reed, and this was really just a way to get into a post-match brawl kind of beatdown situation. And again, Braun Breaker looks like a superstar in this with the double spear through the barricade. The promos throughout the night were okay, but a couple big moments in this beatdown made him look like just an absolute monster. And then Bronson Reed with the tsunami of all tsunamis, laying out Roman Reigns. I don't think they are going to be successful this weekend, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. But I do think that they did a very good job of making these guys look strong. And there is at least a part of me now that is like, maybe they do just go with these two as the winners on whether it's Saturday or Sunday. I missed it. But maybe they do just go with these guys. So they put enough doubt in my head with this. And I think coming out of it, they are still going to be looked at in a very strong manner, even if they don't get their hands raised out in New York. AJ Styles and the Kabuki Warriors get a win over the Judgment Day. Again, the crowd was into this one as well. And it was a solid matchup that kind of accomplished a lot of things at once, which is what you're looking for from this. And I know a lot of people have been critical at times of WWE because it was a crutch for a long time. It's like, well, we have the this singles program and this tag team program, 6-man tag going into this one. Or you would have a tag team program, and all right, week 1 is these 2 guys in the tag team wrestle, and then week 2 is these 2 guys in the tag team wrestle. And so people would kind of get a little bit tired of, all right, let's just throw a bunch of the stories into one match, and that's our thing. But I thought they utilized it pretty effectively on this show with a couple of the matches. And so there is a value in it. I like how New Japan kind of does the multi-man matches, especially right now during G1 season, where you just get a few of the stories into one match, everyone gets some spots in, everyone's happy and all of that. But even outside of G1, where you get a couple of the vets in early on, and they have matches with some of the kids, the young lions, whatever. Like there is a way to use multi-man matches. And I think they had an effective example of it a couple of times. You look at just this match. You have a couple entertaining spots. Kairi Sane comes running in. AJ Styles flips her over the rope and she goes flying into the Judgment Day down below. The way it's been going with Kairi, you were expecting, like, as she's coming up, it's going to, like, her boot is going to catch and AJ's eyelid is just going to rip over to the back of his head, the way that her luck has been lately. But I still loved that spot. So you get some entertaining stuff there. You continue a good build for AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio going towards SummerSlam. You keep the Kabuki Warriors looking very strong on television. And you set up a little bit more dissension in the Judgment Day. You keep the tag team titles out there, and it gives you an opportunity to promote that they are wrestling Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss coming up at SummerSlam. So I think it checked a lot of the boxes and was a really good use of multi-person matches that WWE has kind of leaned on in the past. If you like what we're doing here at Couch Potato Diary, we do have a tip jar. Wherever you are consuming this right now, it is either there as a panel or a link in a description. Wherever you are consuming this, there is a link to the tip jar. Greatly appreciated. It would, if nothing else, it helps out with our cat's insatiable treat desire. So anything you could give would be greatly appreciated. Certainly not required, but would be appreciated. Sheamus gets over on Grayson Waller. This, again, was mainly just a venue to help out with Sheamus and Rusev continuing their rivalry. You get at least some progression now of Grayson Waller in the New Day. Okay. This is something that has dragged on for far too long. And so if this happened right now, 3 months ago, this is fine. Like when you started doing the backstage vignettes where you could start to see Grayson Waller in the background with the New Day, then okay. But now this, okay, do we want him? Do we not? Whatever. Like they have been building this just subtly in the background for a while. So why are we now starting with the slow burn, maybe these guys actually hate each other thing? I don't get it. It feels like a waste of the New Day, especially heading towards one of your biggest shows of the year, to really not have them involved in any meaningful way, and to not progress Grayson Waller, who does feel like an effective character. This just feels like a waste of a lot of people right now. The Lyra Valkyria promo, this one missed the mark against Becky Lynch. The content of the promo was okay, but she's got her Becky stompers on. This is a concerning part, and it's something that is very old WWE, and you haven't seen a lot in this new era, but it's creeping in, and I don't love it. She would, like, we have talked about her quite a bit on this show. I think that she is so close to actually getting over with the crowd, and the way she is going to do that is, like, try to get that personality across, but also, like, her biggest strength is how good of a wrestler she is. And so she's had a couple of matches to be able to showcase that now, with the triple threat match at Evolution, the 2 out of 3 falls match with Bayley, that I think did a lot for her and people getting behind her. But then this promo, it was so lame. It felt panicked. Honestly, it felt like she's probably going to win on at SummerSlam, and they are not happy with where the crowd reactions are, so now they're throwing shit out there. And so she's doing a dance with the Becky stompers before, and she's really calling out to the crowd for these things, and any call and response she does, it just doesn't work. There's a very strong character in there, and there's a very strong performer in there. And the way they were progressing was fine. This felt like a panic type of a promo and a panic type of a setup, and I didn't like it. It didn't hit the mark at all. Once you got the physicality where she was able to outsmart Becky and dive through and kick her on the floor, that was great. That's where she shines, is the in-ring stuff. But that That was not the way to get her personality across at all. That made her look so cheesy and so lame when I don't think she is. I think there's more to give with this character, and that wasn't the way to get it out of it. On the reverse of that, Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross, a fantastic back and forth in a pre-tape backstage. I thought this was really good to, again, progress this, get Karrion Kross to I just want you to say this one thing, and then I'll leave you alone. It's fine. And there is a little bit of like the Joker and Batman here, where it's like everyone can be corrupted except for you. That one's unnecessary. But I feel like we need to have kind of a big moment coming out of this, and I don't think we're going to get it. So, okay. But the one thing I do think was smart about this was to have this one taped and to air it with no crowd noise. Because the big part of this is Karrion Kross is still a bad guy and Sami Zayn is still the ultimate good guy. And that gets hurt a little bit when the crowd starts chanting one more time for Karrion Kross when he's beating the bejesus out of Sami Zayn. So I think this was a smart move to kind of mute the crowd reactions, get this one over, and both guys participated very well in their side of it. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. I just hope where it goes ends up in a satisfying conclusion. The 8-woman tag really put on a show, and again, it checks a few of the boxes, and I feel like basically everyone in this comes out elevated. Rhea and Io, it just shows how over they are, and you get them on television, and they're awesome. But they have the backstage segment as well. That was really good. It made Piper Niven look like a beast, where she does the like stand-up reveal horror movie moment behind Nikki and Io after they do the emote thing. And so she looks like a beast, which again, like I don't know what it is that doesn't click with her, whether it's with the creative or with the crowd, but she's a really good performer. And so she is always someone who I wish there was a little bit more there for, and treating her in this way and treating her as the muscle of this match was a very strong way to go about that. You get Nikki getting a good reaction with that EO emote, getting her on TV, and continuing the progression of her story with Chelsea Green right now. Stephanie Vaquer looks strong to get a win. Naomi continues to feel legitimate as a champion, and I thought the promo backstage with her was fantastic. So basically, I mean, like, Alba Fire certainly existed in this match. And aside from that, like, everyone in this match felt like they kind of got elevated from this night, and I can't wait to see what happens at SummerSlam for this one. Lastly here, we got Judgement Day retaining the tag team titles over the LWO. This was, again, more of a moment for El Grande Americano to run in, but this match was a ton of fun. And the LWO, they have really showed out in their opportunities recently, right? Like, you go back to Worlds Collide and the performance of Cruz del Toro, who I thought was one of the winners of the night with how well he performed. And then how good they looked in that tag team qualifying match. And now in this one again, I thought these guys both looked very, very good and deserving of this spotlight. And so I'm hoping that the Grande Americano kind of detour doesn't lead us too far away off of television here, because these guys are very, very good. Overall, again, this was a good episode of Raw. It really did advance things well and effectively for SummerSlam. It just feels so rushed that nothing feels like massive going into your biggest show of the year. Like, if you could do this and then 2 more after it, we're talking about an excellent build for SummerSlam. The problem is they had 2 weeks to build this thing up. Hey, if you're loving the wrestling talk from Couch Potato Diary, we have a new wrestling podcast. It is called Living Room Lariat. It is all the wrestling content here from Couch Potato Diary, but if you don't want to hang out for some CFL talk or some UFC after, all the wrestling talk just combined into one spot for you, and some bonus stuff that you won't hear on the regular Couch Potato Diary podcast. So, some exclusive wrestling content over on Living Room Lariat, wherever you get your podcasts.